the LA Sparks ownership just made a move to potentially bring in Caitlin Clark, White, Indiana Fever, Kelly Crosskopf, Amber Cox, Lynn Dunn. Count your days. The GOAT is gonna get the hell away from you very, very soon.
No player has transformed women's professional basketball quite like Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever superstar has become the biggest attraction the WNBA has ever seen, drawing record-breaking attention everywhere she plays. During the 2026 season, she averaged 21.2 points per game, continuing to prove why she's one of the league's brightest stars. Since entering the WNBA, Clark has helped drive television ratings to historic heights and turned the Indiana Fever from an overlooked franchise into one of the most talked about teams in all of sports. Before we get into today's story, take a quick second to like this video and subscribe if you're enjoying our content. Surprisingly, nearly 92% of the people watching haven't subscribed yet. It costs nothing, only takes a moment, and it makes a huge difference in helping the channel grow. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much for your continued support. We truly appreciate it. Now let's jump into today's story.
Already been informed, she is on minutes restriction yet again. She will be playing 20 to 25 minutes yet again. Stephanie White is going to fuck with her.
Many fans believe the Indiana Fever still haven't fully built their system around Caitlin Clark's strengths. They argue she hasn't consistently received the level of support that a player of her impact and popularity deserves. Critics have questioned some of the coaching decisions, including moments when Clark was taken out during crucial stretches of games, or asked to operate in a style that they feel doesn't maximize her unique playmaking and scoring abilities. At the same time, reports and speculation about the Los Angeles Sparks' interest in Clark have continued to generate attention, especially with the franchise's ambitious new ownership group focused on building a championship caliber organization. According to this narrative, Stephanie White is now viewed as standing in the way of any possibility of that move becoming a reality.
Stephanie White is keeping it her big plan to keep Caitlin Clark on these minute restrictions. Now we know before last game, Aaliyah Boston did not play. Aaliyah Boston came into this game versus the Phoenix Mercury, played 38 damn minutes. She did not play 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, pull her out, completely killed her rhythm. Whatever the case is, it's clear to me, and it should be clear to you, that Stephanie White has a clear agenda against Caitlin Clark. She do not want to let her get in the rhythm. She do not want her.
According to this perspective, even if Stephanie White isn't fully committed to building everything around Caitlin Clark, she's still not willing to let the franchise's biggest star leave. That would keep Clark in Indiana, tied to an organization that some believe may not be the ideal long-term fit for her. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Sparks continue to attract attention as a team that many believe is quietly preparing for the future, patiently watching how the situation develops while putting the pieces in place for what could become a major opportunity.
Been being laid. I don't know. I tried to tell you guys, okay? I tried to tell y'all Michael Thompson, Laker legend, wasn't just saying things just to be saying things. He has intel on what the hell is going on in LA, and especially with this new ownership group, who is the same ownership group that have made big moves for the Lakers. They're looking to make a major splash with.
Before diving into the trade speculation and all the controversy surrounding it, it's important to understand where the Los Angeles Sparks stand today. This isn't the same organization many fans viewed as struggling or lacking direction over the past decade. The franchise has entered a new era under an ownership group led by Mark Walter, bringing a completely different level of ambition and long-term vision. In late 2025, the NBA's Board of Governors approved Walter's acquisition of a controlling interest in the Los Angeles Lakers from the Buss family, making him the team's majority owner. Beyond basketball, Walter is also the principal owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers and serves as the CEO of Guggenheim Partners, a global investment firm that manages hundreds of billions of dollars in assets.
Right now, if you don't think the LA Sparks got something cooking, you're damn crazy. You're crazy. And if you ain't following the news, you better get to connecting the dots.
Another major figure connected to the ownership group is Magic Johnson, one of the most recognizable names in Los Angeles sports history. Few people understand what it takes to build a winning culture in the city better than Magic, whose legacy has been defined by success both on and off the court. Together, Mark Walter and Magic Johnson aren't simply aiming to own another professional franchise. They're looking to build an organization that commands attention and competes at the highest level. And when it comes to women's basketball, no player generates more headlines or public interest than Caitlin Clark. That's exactly why her name continues to surface whenever conversations turn to the future of ambitious franchises like the Los Angeles Sparks.
Too, right? Like, she is unique in when the ball crosses half court, it's in the scoring zone. We have our hands full. You can't lose sight of her for a half a second. So we'll mix up what we're doing with her, mix up who's guarding her. But I don't think it matters that she hasn't played here since 24. She is who she is, and you know, as much as her scoring, shooting is a threat, her passing is even more dangerous. So we've got to be locked in, and it's not just, you know, whoever's guarding her. It's got to be all 5 people locked in, head on a swivel, because she's an unbelievable.
To lead the basketball operations, Mark Walter and Magic Johnson brought in Lynn Roberts, a respected coach with a strong track record of building successful programs. During her 9 seasons at Utah, she transformed the Utes into a consistent NCAA tournament team and earned a reputation for developing competitive, disciplined squads. Roberts isn't a newcomer still learning the job. She's an experienced program builder who knows how to establish a winning culture. Since arriving in Los Angeles, she has approached the role with confidence, urgency, and a clear vision for where she wants the Sparks to go.
Be making a run towards Caitlin Clark. Now, with that being said, last week we seen them sign none other than Kate Martin, one of Caitlin Clark's close friends from Iowa. We've been seeing Caitlin Clark subliminally pull up with her CC1s in the LA Sparks colorway. Now, with that being said, if you mean to tell me that if it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a damn duck. And that's exactly what the LA Sparks is doing.
Kate Martin was signed by the Sparks in May 2026.
When the Los Angeles Sparks signed Kate Martin in May 2026, many fans saw it as more than just a routine roster move. If you haven't been following the story closely, here's why it drew so much attention. Martin was Caitlin Clark's teammate at Iowa, where the two built outstanding chemistry while leading the Hawkeyes on memorable NCAA tournament runs. Because of that shared experience, Martin already understands Clark's pace, decision-making, and style of play without needing months to develop that connection. That signing immediately fueled speculation among fans who believed it could signal a bigger long-term plan. Add in a proven scorer like Kelsey Plum, and the Sparks suddenly have pieces that fit well alongside a ball-dominant playmaking guard. Rather than simply collecting talented players, many believe Los Angeles is shaping a roster designed to maximize the strengths of an elite point guard. To some observers, it almost looks like they're preparing for a future built around a player who isn't even on the team, at least not yet.
The beginning of the groundwork. One, Caitlin Clark has a wonderful, wonderful relationship with Cameron Brink that stems back to their Team USA days as high schoolers. Okay, that's one. Two, they brought in Caitlin Clark's best friend in the world. You are my best friend in the whole wide world. Kate Martin in the whole wide world. They brought in Kate Buddy Martin from Iowa, okay? Now, they have decided to part ways with the GM. And they are going to be looking to make.
Now let's look at what Caitlin Clark has been accomplishing on the court, because her performance is a huge part of why these conversations continue to gain momentum. Once you examine the numbers, it's easy to understand why so many people have strong opinions about Indiana's direction. During the 2026 season, Clark is averaging a career-high 21.2 points per game, showing that she's still improving in her 3rd year as a professional. She also earned another WNBA All-Star selection, adding to an already impressive impressive resume. Earlier in 2026, Clark was named MVP of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament, another reminder of the impact she continues to make on the international stage. Her influence extends far beyond individual awards. The Indiana Fever's June 6th matchup against the New York Liberty averaged 2.557 million viewers on CBS, making it one of the most watched women's basketball broadcasts since 2000 and the highest rated WNBA game on any network that season. When a player is producing at that level while also driving record-breaking television audiences, it naturally raises an important question. Should a franchise build everything around a talent like this, or continue treating her as just one piece of the puzzle? That's the debate many fans have been having throughout the season, and it's one that has only grown louder.
I'm just following up on Caitlin from earlier. She didn't practice yesterday. Why was she not listed on the injury report, or why wasn't the injury report updated like earlier today if she woke up with soreness in her back?
Well, not everybody that doesn't practice or gets a pro day is on the injury report, so that happens all the time. And she wasn't listed on the injury report earlier because we expected her to play.
And is she injured? I guess is a fair question. Is she injured, or is it something other than an injury?
Her back is sore, so if there's anything more detailed than that, that's the training staff.
Do you think the Fever could get fined for not listing her as
No.
on the injury report?
Let's start with one of the moments that had fans across the league talking. On May 31st, the Indiana Fever faced the Portland Fire, and an early coaching decision immediately became the center of attention. During the first quarter, Stephanie White took Caitlin Clark out of the game. The Fever eventually fell 100-84, losing by 16 points. As the game unfolded, television cameras caught what appeared to be a tense exchange between Clark and White during a second quarter timeout. Clark was seen shaking her head before walking past her coach, and the clip quickly spread among fans and media, fueling plenty of discussion about what had happened. Both White and Clark publicly dismissed the idea of any serious conflict. Clark even told reporters, "I ride for Steph," making it clear she supported her coach. Even so, because the exchange was captured on national television during an emotional game, the moment continued to generate conversation. Competitive players and coaches often have passionate discussions in the heat of battle, but when those interactions happen under the spotlight, they tend to become a much bigger story than either side may have intended.
So when my neighbor comes up to me and tells me that he's so frustrated he's yelling at the TV because he wants Caitlin to shoot more, and you see social media, of course you do, and we all do, and we see frustration if Caitlin doesn't have the ball, or if something goes wrong, or if the team doesn't play well in the fourth quarter, all those things that happen in sports. What's your answer to those fans? I don't know that I really have an answer for the fans. I think, I have to answer to our team, and our franchise. And we're trying to win ball games. We're not trying to appease the masses.
This is where the debate surrounding the Indiana Fever has become even more intense. Some fans and commentators have argued that the team shouldn't be built entirely around Caitlin Clark, a viewpoint that has sparked plenty of discussion throughout the season. One opinion that gained attention suggested that if Clark becomes the entire system, the team won't reach its full potential. Those discussions have been especially active across online communities, where countless supporters have shared their frustrations. A common sentiment is that Stephanie White is trying to implement a coaching philosophy that emphasizes her preferred system instead of fully leaning into Clark's up-tempo style, elite playmaking, and ability to push the pace. Meanwhile, many observers believe the Los Angeles Sparks would approach things differently. With Lynn Roberts leading the basketball side and the financial backing of Mark Walters' ownership group, some fans see Los Angeles as a franchise that would be eager to build its offense around a dynamic lead guard. In that vision, the primary playmaker isn't simply another contributor. She becomes the foundation of the entire system, setting the tempo, creating opportunities for teammates, and serving as the driving force behind everything the team does.
Caitlin to the ground, and that's a hand to the neck, and then Alyssa Thomas steps over.
Man, this is so disgusting, bro. This is why AT get the type of commentary that she gets. That was unnecessary, bro.
For many fans, the concerns extend beyond coaching decisions. They also point to the overall environment surrounding Caitlin Clark in Indiana, including how physical play involving her has been handled during games. One of the biggest flashpoints came on June 24th, when the Indiana Fever faced the Phoenix Mercury. During a scramble for a loose ball, Alyssa Thomas made contact with Clark, and the play quickly became the center of controversy. Clark went down on the floor, while many viewers argued that the officials failed to recognize the full sequence of events as the action continued without an immediate whistle. After the game, Stephanie White didn't hide her frustration, describing several missed calls as egregious when speaking with reporters. The incident sparked widespread debate among fans and analysts, many of whom believed the officials should have handled the play differently. Following a league review, Alyssa Thomas received a one-game suspension for the incident. Around that same time, Clark was also dealing with a back injury that was aggravated during the game, forcing her to miss the Fever's next 2 contests. The combination of the controversial play, the missed calls, and Clark's absence only fueled further discussion about whether the league was doing enough to protect one of its biggest stars.
Several members of Congress sent a letter this week to Commissioner Engelbert. They said they're concerned about what they called physical hostility and violence toward her. One line in particular said, quote, "Concerning reports suggest that many of these attacks against Caitlin Clark may be racially motivated." What's your reaction on that? No, I understand that. I just mean as a coach, when you hear one of your players is being mentioned in a letter from members of Congress to the commissioner of the league, how do you handle that?
Again, that's not something we can control. We're not affiliated with those groups, and we try to keep the main thing, and focus on.
As the season unfolded, the conversation expanded far beyond the basketball court. Many supporters argued that the WNBA faced increasing pressure to address concerns about player safety and the way physical play involving Caitlin Clark was being handled. On July 7th, a group of 11 Republican members of Congress, led by U.S. Representative August Pfluger of Texas, sent a formal letter to WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. In the letter, Clark was described as one of the league's defining stars, and the lawmakers questioned whether enough was being done to respond to repeated physical incidents involving her. They referenced several highly publicized plays, including hip checks, eye contact incidents, and the controversial collision involving Alyssa Thomas, while urging the league to strengthen accountability. The letter also requested a response from Commissioner Engelbert by July 24th, and stated that, if the situation were found to involve potential civil rights violations, additional federal review could be considered. At the same time, many basketball reporters and analysts continued debating whether Clark was receiving adequate protection from officials during games. Critics argued that the league had been too slow to respond to repeated controversies, while others believed the physical style of play was simply part of professional basketball. Meanwhile, some fans also questioned Stephanie White's approach, pointing to comments that suggested the Fever's offense shouldn't revolve entirely around Clark. Combined, those debates only added to the growing spotlight surrounding both the team and the league.
I have a lot of questions, and obviously I haven't been available for like a week or so. So, first of all, I know what you guys are going to ask, and I did think it was a flagrant foul, and our reffing just needs to be better. And it's tough. Obviously, the refs are in a really difficult spot. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world, in my opinion, is to make calls. All you do is get yelled at the whole time by everybody. You're never winning. So I think for us, as the league's just got to do better protecting our players in that regard. I don't really think that it was up for debate. Obviously, it wasn't called in real time. You go back and watch the clip. I think it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of been a discussion for like 3 years now, and I think we really need to do a better job protecting.
After returning from her injury, Caitlin Clark spoke with reporters and made it clear that she believes the league can do a better job protecting its players. She said the officiating needs to improve, while also taking time to condemn the online harassment directed at other WNBA players in the aftermath of the controversy. That response reflected her consistent message of wanting the focus to remain on basketball rather than personal attacks. Meanwhile, many fans have speculated that organizations like the Los Angeles Sparks are paying close attention to everything happening in Indiana. Every game, every coaching decision, every press conference, and every major storyline has fueled conversations about what Clark's long-term future could look like. From a contract standpoint, the Indiana Fever exercised Clark's team option before the season, keeping her under contract through 2027 with a salary of $597,596. She is then scheduled to become a restricted free agent in 2028, meaning Indiana would have the right to match any qualifying offer she receives from another team. If Clark were to win the 2026 WNBA Most Valuable Player Award, league rules could make her eligible for a significantly larger contract, with projections placing a protected maximum salary around $1.3 million in 2027 and a supermax approaching $1.7 million in 2028. Even so, many observers argue that her overall value extends far beyond salary alone. As one of the biggest attractions in women's basketball, Clark has helped produce television audiences and commercial interest rarely seen in the modern era of the sport.
She's going to be on a minutes restriction, around 20 to 25, so we'll see what that looks like. But she will be available and able to play still with a minutes restriction.
You expect the same kind of distribution of how you handle those minutes by quarter as last time in LA?
No, because that's 10 more minutes a game than we had the last time. So, I think you can go for longer periods. I think the biggest thing is, when you haven't done anything really for a couple of weeks, it's endurance, right? It's building endurance, it's efficiency, it's getting back in rhythm, getting back with timing and flow and all of those things, and trying to expand the longer periods of time.
For now, Stephanie White remains in charge, and she can continue saying that everything inside the Indiana Fever organization is on solid ground. She can describe the visible on-court moments as nothing more than the normal emotions that come with coaching highly competitive athletes. But one reality remains impossible to ignore. Caitlin Clark is just 24 years old, putting together the best statistical season of her career, while another franchise in one of the country's biggest sports markets is being viewed by many fans as building an ambitious long-term vision. The Los Angeles Sparks, backed by a high-profile ownership group, have become a frequent part of that conversation. Whether the speculation is justified or not, supporters continue to point to roster decisions, organizational investments, and the team's overall direction as reasons why Clark's name keeps surfacing in discussions about the franchise's future. Fans have also connected moves such as the addition of Kate Martin, Clark's former Iowa teammate, and the presence of established stars like Kelsey Plum to the idea that Los Angeles is creating an attractive basketball environment. Add in a coaching staff that has openly emphasized winning and building for the future, and it's easy to understand why those rumors continue to generate headlines.